Hi and welcome to Hedgehog Hollow. I'm so excited to be able to bring you another product review. The wonderful people at Spellbinders have sent me their Platinum 6 cutting machine, one of their tool-in-ones. I already have one of their fab accessories you may have seen me use before that I've got at the front here. Plus they sent me some dies to play with. So we're going to be having a couple of videos. In this first one I'm going to unbox the machine and have a quick first look at it. And then in future videos we'll be making some projects with the machine and the dies that they sent me. So first of all I want to show you some of the tools that Spellbinders send me and some that I already have in my collection. So first of all, this is the dual tool that you may have seen me use before. This is an awesome tool to have in your space. You can sit it on its side, you can sit it upright, you can sit it in any direction. When you're working with these wonderful thin steel dies, and I'm going to just grab these out the packet here, you can see how well they stick, particularly when you're working with those smaller intricate pieces. Just pop them on here until you're finished and you're ready to pop them away and they'll stick right here for you. You know where they are. I really find this handy when I'm doing a video. I'll often pop the pieces here just off to the side and then I know they're not going to get lost until I've finished that video. Now the other tool that they gave me is the tool-in-one, and I kept mine in the box so I can show it to you. This is an absolute must-have tool. I have used one of these and I've been at stores and things in the past. Let me slide it out and I can show you some of the things that you can do with the tool. So it's great to work with any die cutting system. You have the brush roller here on the top, so you can just brush that straight through. You can also clean up any bits that get stuck to your mats using the brush. Just go over it like this and you'll find they all become really nice and loose. You have a piercing end that has this little protector on it. Let me slide that off. So you can pierce through die cuts for stitching, or if you need to poke through from any other intricate die cuts, maybe with a release hole, you can do this as well. Plus you get this spatula tool which also goes on your piece. So this is great for removing die cuts either from the scan and cut or from your die cutting machine. To use that, super simple. Pull this collar down here, this piece will slide out and this piece here will then slot in for you and it's locked in. You've got all of these grooves on both of those pieces that make it really easy to use, and you can do the same on the other end. Just pull that collar down and this piece will release out. Plus you can store them on the inside here as well. So once I remove this piece, I can put my brush back in here and then this piece will easily store inside so it's not going to get lost and all of my tools stay together. So that is a great tool from Spellbinders as well. And now I want to show you a little bit more about the machine. So inside the box, when you open it up, you have a package of cutting plates. So this is right in the top here. And if we open this up, we have the instruction booklet. We have an embossing plate that is labelled at the bottom here in the blue. We have a rubber cutting embossing mat for when we want to do some dry embossing. 2 cutting plates as well. Plus we have the platform, and actually on the platform here it tells you what the sandwiches are too, so we can take a closer look at those as well. Then when we go a little bit deeper, we have the handle and there's a screw and Allen key in there to pop it on. Plus this is the machine. Nice carry handle on the top there, nice and compact as well. So let's open this one up here. In the box. So this is your machine. The 2 sides open like this and like this. So this is where we're going to cut through either side. We're going to pop our handle on as well. Lovely rose gold copper accents on the handle and on these trim pieces. Plus you may have noticed there was the handle that I pulled up to carry it out the box with. So in here are your fixings. We have an Allen key, a screw and a washer, and there is a stopper to go in here as well. Plus we have our instruction book. I'm just going to check on the order that we put them in. So it says here, so about your handle, place in the front to a sturdy flat surface with the right side of the machine. You'll notice there's a metal post, has 2 flat sides. Slide the washer onto the screw and place both inside the handle. So we'll put the washer onto there, so you have that assembly like this. Place your screw inside that hole there and then slide it all onto this rod that's just extended on the side here. So we're going to pop that in. And then we can use our Allen key here to tighten it up. So just keep turning it. I can feel it getting tighter. And this is going all the way inside of the machine, so you want to make sure it's done up as tight as possible. So I'm going to hold my handle still and keep turning my Allen key. Try that once more. So make sure you hold your handle and then pull against it so it's nice and tight, and then your white stopper will just pop inside of here, and I just felt that click in. So let's now take a closer look at the machine and see how we cut out our dies. So for a small machine, it has a lot of cutting power, and it can also do a lot of different things. You can cut out with your steel rule dies, either the traditional Sizzix ones or some of the Spellbinders ones. You can also cut any steel die like this, so the thinlet style dies. You can emboss with those dies as well, plus you can use embossing folders, and I have one of the Spellbinders embossing folders here as well. So let's take a look at how it all stacks together and how you would use some of those different options. It will cut up to 6 layers at once, particularly with the steel rule dies. You can also cut cork and chipboard and leather and things. This is your base platform, so this is what we're going to start with. We're going to be cutting out with a steel ruled die, and I'm going to be using the holiday Shapeabilities that they sent me with the machine. So first of all, we put down our platform. Then we put down a clear cutting plate that I showed you earlier. Then our paper, cardstock, craft foil, all sorts of different mediums you can cut out. Pop your die on the top with those ridges cutting side down. So we have polished side to the top, and then we're going to put our clear plate on the top again, and then we're going to run that through our die cutting machine. I find it best just to place my hand on the top middle of a machine. If you go front to back, it's usually a little bit easier than going on the side, but for a video we'll do on the side like this so it's easier for you to see. Same cutting that we'd get on any die cutting machine, and again you're going to want to have a top and a bottom plate. So this is now going to be my bottom plate. Sometimes I will label these, particularly for Maddie I label hers with my P-touch of bottom and the one that goes on the top as well. Then we can either just poke out, or we can grab that tool-in-one that you saw I had just now. And I also found out that you can put that piercing piece in the other way up, so you're not going to pierce yourself when you grab into the drawer for it, which is a really nice handy feature. We can grab that spatula, and then I'm going to put this back on the top and put on my spatula piece, and then you can help that to alleviate through some of these dies. You can also, again, this is a great time to show you how to use the brush, so we can brush out all of those little bits. You can see them flying off there, and then we can pick this one out here. So let me just carefully pull this one out. There we go. And again, we'll pull this piece out of there. So there is our cut snowflake square. If you put some adhesive on the back, it'd be super easy to glue that onto something, and you'll see I've been doing that a lot recently as well. Now another option that you can do is embossing a cut shape. So once you've put that through, some of the dies will have embossing details as well, and you can put that back inside your plate to do that as well. If that's something you wanted to be able to do, you would start off again with your platform here. Then you would put your die back in, ridges up with the cut shape inside. So this would have stayed inside of our cutting piece, just like this. So you'd have kept it inside, and then you'd put it back in this way up. This one doesn't have the embossing details in, but the wreath that they sent me, and you'll be seeing I use this on a future project, that does have those options in there where you can add those inlaid emboss details in there too. That's when that lovely embossing mat comes into its own. You would place that then on top as well. Plus you would add your embossing plate on the top and run all of this through your machine. Now you can do the same with all dies. So let me show you what I mean. You can dry emboss with any die. So rather than cutting out like we did on this one, so again, remove that carefully, we could emboss this shape into a piece of plain cardstock. So platform first of all, then I'm going to add my shape here with my cardstock over the top. We're going to then add our embossing mat. This is a really valuable tool you can use in any die cutting machine. And then add that embossing plate over the top. And let's run that back through again, and I'll show you what it can do. So the other option you can have is you can dry emboss onto cardstock using your dies as well. Now you'll see here I've got some crinkled ridges. If I'd have spritzed my paper with a very small mix of fabric conditioner and water, very light mist, you won't get any of that cracking in there. That will work perfectly for you as well. You won't have any of those cracked edges. So another option are the steel rule dies. I don't have any from Spellbinders, but I do have a Sizzix one here that I can show you how that would work. So first of all, you put your base cutting mat. This is my top mat that I'm putting down here. Then you put your steel rule die with your cutting edge face up. Pop your cardstock on the top. You can also cut out cork, leather, fabric, chipboard, foil, all sorts of things. Then you're going to place your top mat on there and you're going to wind that through your machine. And again, you're going to get that same wonderful cut out of it as well. So you can see there it started to cut out my box. It's just a slightly small piece of cardstock, but again you'll get the same effect running through your steel rule dies. So you can use all those original Sizzix dies again with that machine, plus Spellbinders have some fantastic steel rule dies for the holiday season. Now the next one I'm going to show you how to do is the embossing folder. So when you're using an embossing folder, you take that platform that I was just talking about. You will then need your top mat here. Now this is one of the 3D ultra thick embossing folders from Spellbinders I purchased a while ago. If you want to use one of these, you'll actually need a 3D plate which is sold separately, just purely because of the thickness of the embossing folder. With a regular embossing folder, you will just pop your cardstock inside, and then on top of that you're going to then put your clear cutting plate, and you would then run it through and it's going to emboss exactly as a normal plate would. So that is our Platinum 6 machine from Spellbinders. I hope you've enjoyed this quick getting started guide and you're ready to start using your machine as well. All your links are below the video, and I will see you again very soon to make some projects with my Spellbinders machine. Do click those subscribe buttons while you're here and visit me over at Hedgehog Hollow here on YouTube as well. Thanks for joining me. Happy stamping. Bye.